Social institutions, institutional and structural oppression. Social institutions are long-lasting systems of organization in our society. They are made up of laws, norms, values, and patterns of behavior, as well as buildings, job descriptions, language, and beliefs. Social institutions are the way our social values are expressed, enforced, and replicated. Prominent social institutions include the family and marriage, education and schools, religion and churches, law enforcement, the workplace, the mass media, and the military. Among other things, social institutions are where socialization happens. Right now, in this institution, the university, there is socialization going on as you are given messages about how you should behave as an adult in society. Social institutions are social constructions, just ones that have become particularly robust. As with all social constructions, institutions are made up of humans, and we can make choices to maintain them or to change them. Social institutions are inherently conservative, in the sense that they tend to replicate the status quo and resist change. People who are members of institutions work hard to achieve status and power within them, and therefore become invested in defending those institutions. For example, a person who spends 9 years studying for their PhD, then another 7 years working to get tenure, who is given respect, status, and an income by the university, is likely to want the university system to stay around. The systems of social power are built into social institutions. Social institutions replicate, enforce, and socialize people into privileged and oppressed groups. This is institutional oppression. The sum effects of all these social institutions makes up the social structure. The social structure is made up of institutions working to create and reinforce the power of the privileged. The fact that the social structure creates forces which oppress people based on their social situatedness is structural oppression. Importantly, the social structure doesn't require bad actors to create and maintain oppression. By bad actors, I mean people whose intention is to discriminate against particular groups of people, like Bull Connor here. Instead, it requires only people who work to maintain the institutions of which they are a member. For example, the law enforcement system in the USA is institutionally racist. At every level, people of color experience worse outcomes. One of the many causes of this is the disparity in sentencing between crack cocaine and powder cocaine. People in law enforcement who prosecute a person for crack cocaine, leading to a long prison sentence, are just following the law, and yet by doing so they are creating racist effects because the law, the institution they are part of upholding, is institutionally racist. The important consequence of this is that structural oppression is not a result of people wanting to oppress other people, thinking less of groups of people, or holding prejudiced ideas. All of that happens, of course, and it contributes to oppression, but because the structure itself is oppressive, even if we could magically stop all the bad will in the world, oppression would still continue. What this means is that resisting oppression requires far more of us than just remaining neutral. We need to actively work to change the institutions, especially those institutions which we are invested in for providing our own status and power.